So we'll end it with the, I'll ask, what is, write Israel, and then I will want you to write Yasharallah in the transliterated, Yasharallah in the Paleo, and Yasharallah in the Assyrian. And then I'll ask, what is Holy Tongue? And I will like the LASHAWAN QADASH, then written in the Paleo and written in the Hebrew, Assyrian. And so forth with the 5 words. And then you all always should be able to spell YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And you all should be able to spell your names and put it in your sheets so we'll be tested, whatever. And Yahweh willing, we're going to go to the Spirit. Since this week we went through the Assyrian and the Paleo, I'll have some flashcards to just kind of touch. The first couple of minutes will be to test on that. You know what, Yahweh willing, I'm going to make more copies. I only have 2 right now. Next week, Yahweh willing, I meant to do that last week and I forgot. Yahweh willing, I'm going to have extra copies for that. And then we're going to do some flashcards so where we can, the first few minutes will be testing the language, you know, brothers test the alphabet, so forth. And then we're going to go into, follow Spirit, we're going to go to prefixes, suffixes, words, go more into words, usage of the words, and we're just going to play in the Spirit. So with that, anybody have any questions?
I got a question. Aki asked it earlier, but I forgot what the answer was. Why it changed from Paleo to the Assyrian?
Because we went into Assyrian captivity. And what's one thing that happens when we go into another land? We start taking on what?
Their customs.
Their customs, their way, their speech, all that. And the characters, we picked up their characters, but we were using our Hebrew. So it kind of melded together.
So
but in the kingdom, we're not going to be using Assyrian in the kingdom.
Everything will go back to
the perfect LASHAWAN QADASH.
God.
So we learn both now because it's in usage now. All right? But in the kingdom, Yahweh willing, we'll be going and you'll be using perfect Yahshua.
Which is probably why the Paleo is so much easier.
Right. Right. And without the final cause,
I forget the Paleo is actually kind of easy for me. It's the Assyrian that trips me up.
And that's how it is. And it's a little catchy all the way through. And if you look in the Native Americans' ancient rocks, the so-called Seminoles, the so-called Gad, North American Indians, and different artifacts from North to South America, like the Decalogue stone, you know, they have ancient Paleo Hebrew written on them, proving that they are the Hebrew Israelites by blood. And then on top of that, showing you the Hebrew characters and that they were writing Hebrew.
Can I add there was a Gadite tribe, or what the world ignorantly calls North American Indian tribe on the East Coast near New York, who had a copper cylinder, and when they opened that copper cylinder, it was the Torah in the Paleo Hebrew. Paleo, not the Assyrian.
Yeah, right, because the 10 Northern Kingdom tribes came over here to America, and they still had the Paleo, and it was during the Syrian captivity that they ended up fleeing. King Shalmaneser, doing I think 2 Kings the 17th chapter, when he took basically Israel down, he captured northern Israel and took them into captivity. They were in captivity for a period of time over in lands that they had put them to, displaced them out of northern Israel, and then they end up defeating them and fleeing. They fled and came over to the Americas. When they came over to the Americas, they still hadn't lost that original Hebrew at that time. Over the 1,000 years or so after that, and then the miscegenation of the fucking conquistadors and fucking Edomite bastards who came over here, over time they have even lost that as well.
And when you listen to the battle cries, the Gad,
right, when
they go on to war, Gad and Reuben, like the beginning of all Elder Rakah's, the last American Indian uprising, when those war cries you hear in the beginning, they're saying Yahawah.
That's right. That's right.
They're saying YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH, right, when they're screaming it out. When you hear it, just listen to it real closely. Right. They're saying Yahawah.
Right. And matter of fact, there was a movie that was back in the 50s or 40s, 50s or something, 60s, a cowboy movie, and had Indians, and they said the name I think they say Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, YAHAWAH. Yeah,
Yeah,
they would
yeah.
say names like that.
Right.
You know.
It was a little off,
It was
but
broken Hebrew.
It was broken Hebrew, but and that happens if you don't have, first of all, the leadership in Yasharallah. You had the Levite priests, you had the king Judites, and you had the teachers. And matter of fact, Isaiah, I think the third chapter. Matter of fact, someone real briefly, and we're going to close it on this. You got your scriptures there. Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, and just the first couple of verses. It's a twofold prophecy. One about being taken away, but also being taken away to be brought back for us now. All right. But Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. You can read that for me out.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Isaiah 3:1. By night on my bed I sought him.
That's Isaiah 3:1.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that's cold. That's not my. My Bible didn't say it like that.
Slakia. Isaiah 3:1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, thou take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water.
So at one point in time, the Most High said, look, I'm taking away from Jerusalem the stay and the staff. That's your shepherds, which is your staff, your leaders, and the stay, the support systems. What's the support systems that held Jerusalem together? The leadership. And he's going to break down who's who in the leadership that he's talking about in a minute. Go ahead.
The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator.
So the Most High took basically the whole power structure. That's the mighty men, your armies, your military might, your artificers, cunning artificers who made all kind of machines to technology, to your stay and your staff, your prophets, your priests, your leaders. He took it away. But it's also symbolic as in taking those same men who are the elite of Yasharallah, the head of Yasharallah, and bringing them back now, and bringing them back into prominence now to bring this truth back and rebuild Yasharallah. All right, he took it away to take down Yasharallah, and now it's building up Yasharallah because he's waking us up. Those same mighty men, those same eloquent orators, those same prophets and leaders and judges. Most High is bringing us back. But that's how we lost our language, and that's why we're fighting right now to get back into our language. All right? So, any other questions? With that, we're going to say, the water, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elders out in New York at GMS. Without their teaching and their leadership, we would not have learned this on our own. All right? Unless the Most High would have gave us that power, but he set it up how he set it up. All right? So double honors to those elders, honors to all the brothers around the world, lifting up the name of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI in the spirit of truth and sincerity. So with that, I'm going to say, Kwam Yasharallah, brother, stay sincere, and till next time, Shalom.
Shalom.